All aboard! There's a train coming. An iron horse filled with iron will. And that train is coming right over this hill. And the train that I speak about, ladies and gentlemen, isn't a train that runs between D.C. and Baltimore. It isn't the Amtrak train that runs up and down, coast to coast. This train I talk about is the train of attitude. And it lies inside of each and every one of us. They say there are two important days inside of every human being's life. One is the day you're born, and two is the day you discover why. But why is it that people today aren't the conductors of their train? It's for one of two reasons. One, they talk themselves off their train. Two, they allowed someone else to talk them off their train. How do I know? I was one of those people. See, when I grew up in Baltimore, I was on the schoolyard diamond, and we were choosing up a game of baseball. And for those of you who are familiar with the game of baseball, you know that 18 players make up a perfect game. 9 out at field, 9 up at bat. And what it came down to were the two team choosers choosing between myself and my friend. And the first team chooser chose my friend. The second team chooser looked at me and said, I'd rather play with 8 than to play with you. So I looked at the first team chooser and I said, well, let me go on your team and let him go on their team. And he too said, I'd rather play with 8 than to play with you. How many of you have ever experienced the mob mentality in your life where it seemed like everybody was against you at that point in time? So I sat there, I stood there and I looked and I said, wow, I can't let my boys see me cry. So I backed up and I started to walk off the field, and then my walk turned into a run and I started running back home. And on my way home, I ran into Mr. Brown, and Mr. Brown stopped me and he said, son, why are you running through this neighborhood like a chicken with your head cut off? And Mr. Brown, I looked at him and I wiped my eyes and I said, sir, I had an opportunity to play the game of baseball because at that time in my life I dreamt about becoming a shortstop like the wizard Ozzie Smith. And he said, are you serious? And I said, yes. And he stood there and he started to grind his teeth, and he looked at me and he started to get mad. And matter of fact, he got so mad, I always ask people, have you ever seen a black man turn red? On that day I did. Because Mr. Brown looked at me and he said, son, show me 5 professional baseball players who come from this community. And I didn't know one. He said, so why are you chasing a pipe dream? He said, why don't you try to become a doctor, a lawyer, a firefighter, a politician, a school teacher, something that's more secure, something that's safe, something that is real. And I looked at Mr. Brown on that day and I said to myself, I agree with him, but I disagree with him. I agree with him that becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a politician, a firefighter, a policeman, I believe that those are noble careers, those are honorable careers, but I disagreed with him on that day because he stopped my train. He told me to go do something safe, to not take risks. And I listened to him on that day, and I stopped going after my dream. And I played it safe, and I did what everybody else told me to do. Even in school, when I had opportunities that I knew, and I saw opportunities that I knew that were for me, I would let them go. I would let other students take advantage of those opportunities, even though I knew they were for me. And after high school, I went into the United States Navy, and I was in the Persian Gulf. I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And I got a letter from a friend that said, at the end, become the conductor of your train, pick yourself back up, and go to your destiny. So I picked myself back up, and I picked my self-esteem back up, and I got back into the conductor's seat of my train, and I started to work my way through the United States Navy. And after 10 years of service, I went into corporate America, and then I went into my own career, and I started my own business that I've been doing now for 13 years. And I've been successful in everything that I did from that point forward. But I thought about Mr. Brown and I said to myself, what would he have told you all today? what would he have told you all today? And what would he have told a young boy who his father looked at him after he sank his first golf putt and his father told him, son, you'll change this game forever? What would he have told Tiger Woods? And what would he have told the one president of the United States that had a nervous breakdown? He failed at business twice and he became the president of the United States. What would he have told Abraham Lincoln? And what would he have told the one woman that woke up one day and said, I want to mush my dogs across the Alaskan state in the Iditarod, and every man that was in that race petitioned against her and said a woman would never be able to survive such a race, such clement weather? What would he have told Susan Butcher, who entered that race and went on to win that race? And what would he have told the young man that I spoke about yesterday, who entered the slam dunk competition at 5 feet 7 inches and he won it? What would he have told Spud Webb? But what would he have told you all sitting here today who have your own goals, your own hopes, and your own dreams? What would he have told you if you shared your dream as I did with him on that day when he stopped my train? What would he have told you? I don't think he would tell you what I'm about to tell you. That your goals, your dreams, and aspirations are yours, and they are possible. But you have to stay the conductor of your train. You don't allow people to talk you off your train. Because, again, these goals, these dreams and aspirations are yours. So you have to stay true to that. And you also have to embrace that story, that childhood story. How many of you remember the little engine that thought he could? Remember that story? As he was going up the hill, he would say, what? I know I can, I think I can, I know I can, I think I can. And he did it. And so can you. Some of you may have longer journeys and steeper hills to climb, but you can do it. It's up to you to stay focused and to stay the conductor of your train. And I want to say with that, at the end of this, is that there's a train coming, and it's a train leaving when you leave this conference after it's all said and done. And this train is filled with your passion to win. It's filled with your attitude to win, and it's filled with that iron horse, that fire within you to go after your dreams and make your dreams true. And it starts and it begins with you being the conductor and staying the conductor of your train.